Welcome back to the Cedarshed factory. We're here with another tutorial on how to install your fascia, soffit, trim, and skirting. We're building an 8x10 here today, and we're using our model specific manual and our standard and manual. So we're on the trim section for the fascia soffits. We've identified our parts here on the manual. The Gable Fascia is what we're going to start with. So if you're starting with the trim, this is a good spot to start, is the Gable Fascia. We found the length. We see they have an angle cut on them here. So we're going to start with those. We're using 2 people here for safety. You want to line the peak of your fascia up to the middle of the peak of the shed. After the gable fascia is up, we're going to insert the 1x2 gable trim on this model. If you have a 6-foot wide shed, you won't have this piece. If you have an 8-foot wide or 10-foot wide, it's just a 1x2. Fits in between. You can use the nails included. It's a finishing nail, 1 3/4 galvanized. When you attach the fascia, you can go put the nail through here into the 1x4 strapping. This is where the nail is going to be going. For this demonstration, we're just using a nail gun to make it go faster. But this is how you would do it, is with using the finishing casing nail, hammering it through this fascia into the 1x4s all the way up after centering it at the peak. After we've installed our gable fascia, we're going to move to the soffit. We've identified the parts on our model specific manual here. It's a 1/2x4 37. It looks like this. It's a piece of bevel. It's 3.5 inches wide by 37 inches long. Kevin? You're going to want to put the thick side towards the building. You can use the 1 3/4 nails. I'm going to use the nail gun for the example. You want this to fit by starting the edge of this piece with the edge of this rafter. If you start it here, I wouldn't worry about where the other side finishes. This is the best way to do it. Start the piece on the edge here. After that, on the manual, it's a 34.5 inch. It's the same material. So we're going to put the textured face out because it absorbs the stain better, and we're putting the thick side against the building again. As you can see, this piece ends here on the double rafter as well. So every piece of soffit is the size of the roof panels and ends on the double rafters. So if it's not ending or landing on a double rafter, it may have been started in the wrong place. Just for a reminder here, when you start here, you're not starting on this edge. When you start on the end, you're going flush to the outside here. We started flush and worked our way over, and that lands us at the double rafter. So make sure that the pieces land at the double rafter in between. On the edge, they go flush. Once again, finishing flush here on the edge. After the soffit, we're going to do the fascia for the ridge sides. Once again, we have identified the parts on the manual here. The fascias look like this. This one's 1x4 42. It has a textured face and a smooth side. We're going to put the textured face on the outside because it soaks the stain better than the smooth side will, making it for a longer lasting product. The shed fascia is going to start just like the soffit, right on the edge of the double rafter. And in this case, it's going to sit up against the fascia here of the gable. There is no soffit here included. This is left open for ventilation, just so you know. We don't provide any pieces here, and this is ventilation. After that, on the manual, we had the sandwich piece. I just went, sorry, can I just show them here? This one also ended just like the soffits on the double rafter. So if you had a 12-foot shed or a 16-foot shed, you just have extra pieces, add-ons. You do the same idea. The 2-foot piece would match the 2-foot roof panel. The fascia and the soffits end on the rafters. After the fascia on the ridge, we're going to do the corner boards and trim. We're going to work our way from one side and work our way over. I think it's the smoothest and easiest way to do it. Once again, we've identified our parts here on the model specific manual. We're going to start with the corner board. It's 1 by 3 1/4 inches wide by 79 1/4 inches long. We'll put that on first. You can use an 1 3/4 casing nail provided. You don't have a staple gun. For the demonstration, we're going to use the staple gun just because it goes faster. After that, we're going to put the 1 by 2. Hold on, can I just show everybody what that's going to look like? This finish flushed, okay. And that's going to go there to seal the corner. This is what the finished look will look like. You can staple that off. After the corner boards, we're going to start with the top skirting here and then the bottom skirting. We identified the parts and we laid them out. The bottom skirting is just like a regular piece of siding to go on the bottom. The top skirting is also a piece of siding bevel, similar to the soffit, however different in length. This material here, it comes in 2 lengths, 33 and 45 inches. This is a 33-inch piece. And it's just going to go fill in the top here. Close that in. So all we did was just slide it up into the soffit, made it snug. And then after that, we'll do the bottom skirting, which is a piece of 6-inch bevel. We're just going to lift that bottom piece of bevel there, and he's going to slide it underneath and make it flush to the bottom of the floor. Under here, you want it flush with the 2x4 joist. You can just make the siding flush here. You can put a staple down here or a nail, and then once up here, and there's also studs in the middle. You can put one here, one there, and in the corner as well. So now we started with the corner board, the 1 by 2. We did the top skirting, bottom skirting bevel. Now we have one seamless wall all tied in. We're going to do the 1 by 2 in between. So the 1 by 2s trim that go on the ridge side are 79 1/4 inches long. The ones on the gable side are 80 1/2 inches, a little longer. Okay, there we go. Now we repeat the process again. We'll start with the 1/2 by 4 inch. This time it's a 45-inch length. And that sits flush with the edge of this bevel here. So it's just basically an extension of the wall, covering everything in. We're going to do the bottom next. If you put the 1 by 2 in first, then you have to fight it with the bevel. It's going to be snug. If you do how we did, you start in the corner and you work your way over. It's seamless and everything fits and it's much faster. The important part is to identify your parts prior. This is going quick because we've used the manual to identify the parts and we've laid them out where they go. Next, the 1 by 2. And if you have a larger shed, you would just have an extra piece of skirting, an extra piece of 1 by 2, and it would just extend the process. But you would use the same steps and the same process to fit this all together. Top skirting. This is how the corner finishes here. We'll put another corner board here again, just like we did on the other end. Finish with the bottom skirting. Just lift that bottom piece here. To slide this under, you have to just kind of pull that back without, do it gentle without breaking, and slide this underneath to get the overlap here to waterproof it. Okay, we can add the final corner board. On the gable ends here, you should have this gable fascia on first like we did the other side. But to fill in on the gable ends here with the peak, you just use another piece of bevel. Just how like we did the bottom skirting, we're going to do the same here. Instead of a 4-inch piece like last time, we're going to use a larger 6-inch piece. Just a bevel, cedar bevel siding. Same thing, we lift it up a little bit to slide it underneath. And what we want to do is we want to make it seamless to match the reveal and the overlap of all the other boards. It happens to be 4.5 inches. So if you can make it 4.5 inch overlap, then it should all seamlessly match together. And just like that, that's how you do the trim for a Cedarshed kit. Your fascia, soffits, trim, and skirting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial from Cedarshed Factory. Have a great day.